As SEO experts, what's the standard of a good backlink? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show this article that we have. Yeah, so if you go to our website and you look for this, what is a quality backlink article? I'll go ahead and just drop this in the chat for you. This will help you, but here's some things that it covers. So basically, you have like the authority, which is kind of a complicated term. It's talking about the authority of the entire website, like basically how many backlinks the entire website has, how many good backlinks it has. But there's also some other things that are kind of lumped into authority, like kind of its trust with Google or its standing, or if it's seen, if it's seen as like an authority in the niche or whatever. Power, we think about basically how many links are going to that specific page, and then relevance, how relevant is the backlink. And a backlink can have different levels of these three things. So for this picture, a backlink could be super relevant, but maybe it doesn't have a lot of authority or power. And that's fine. You can have a super relevant backlink that's not from a high authority website, and that backlink can be very good for you. On the other hand, you have an example here of a website that is a very high authority, but it's not like super relevant, it's not super relevant, and doesn't have a lot of links to the page or whatever. This link can also be super good for you because it's from a really high authority source, right? In a perfect world, if you could get a super high authority backlink and it's also super relevant, and it also has a ton of links going to the page, that would be like the best backlink, right? But it doesn't always work like that, and you don't need to worry about trying to get every single one. Just the value of the backlink, basically how much you would pay for it or how hard you want to try to get it, will change depending on these things and what you think you need. I will also say, like, if you don't want to get a bunch of links that are maybe high authority but not too relevant. So, I feel like backlink relevance is pretty important. Links that have a ton of authority but they're not super relevant or still can be really good for you, but you don't want your entire backlink profile to be, basically links that aren't too relevant. And there's more stuff that goes into this. Some people like to look at traffic and rankings, but this is difficult. I feel like if you're looking at traffic, you need to really look into things more because it really just depends on the site and the keywords they're going after and stuff like that. But generally, if the website has traffic and rankings, it's healthy. And then there's different link types as well. So for example, a niche edit, a guest post, or a PBN link, we look at these things very differently from how we look at things like pillow links. So if you get like a blog comment or a social profile or a forum post link or something like that, these, we kind of judge these completely differently. And but yeah, anyway, the anchor text can depend on what makes the link good or not, if it's a good anchor. Of course, contextual is better than not contextual. Yes, you want the linking page and the website to be indexed. We have some information about spam here. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, long article. Go ahead and check that out. Hopefully some of that stuff that I just covered helps you. And what were you going to say, Nick?
I was going to say, let's touch on relevance a little bit, just
Sure.
as that becomes kind of an issue, especially with like newer SEOs, where it's like, hey, I want to rank for this offbeat piece of, technological equipment. So I want niche relevance to that. Well, niche relevance falls under umbrellas, right? The broad topics, and then they get closer to whatever specific product you might be talking about or thing you're maybe talking about. Start with the broad, right? Like when we say relevance, we're talking about like getting tech blogs to link to your tech article.
So for
It's
example
not
of that,
hyper
for
specific.
Links a lot, we do SEO. We could get links from just like technology kind of blogs, technology articles, and that's okay. It's not super duper relevant, but it is on our like basically our parent niche, our highest level broad niche. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's it. I mean,
Okay, sorry.
that was it, because a lot of people, I feel like they think relevance is like specific to whatever
Yeah, it
product.
just depends how
And
relevant
so
you want to be, right?
while that's great, it's also a lot harder to get, right? And, you kind of play with all these variables as you go. And what you need to conceptualize is what you think you can get out of these specific backlinks for whatever specific budget, right? The idea is to get ROI, so return on investment, for whatever asset you're buying backlinks to. So yeah.
Just a little more on the relevance factor. So for example, like our niche edits. So niche edit is a link insertion into an existing article. Like the article is already out there, right? So with niche edits, it's harder to get super duper relevant a lot of the time because you're working with articles that already exist. So it limits what you're able to do and what you're able to get links from by quite a bit, right? So with niche edits, and it depends on your niche, but if you have like a kind of a weird niche or whatever, it might be hard to get like super relevant links, and it might be a little bit more general or whatever. But then
mainly because you can't edit the permalink structure or the title or anything like that, right? It's just inserted in the article.
But then, for example, guest posts, you know, for our guest posts, you can tell us like what you want the article to be about. So right there, you're controlling how relevant you want it to be. So, you know, if you're wanting to link to a page on your website about like microprocessors made out of, I don't know, coal or something, whatever, then, you know, you could have an article written about like, are coal microprocessors really good or whatever? You know, you could really get super specific with it. Whereas if you wanted something super duper relevant for a niche edit, it would be much harder to find that. You might just be something about processors or computers or whatever. It just might be a little bit more just the step up. And it's not a bad thing. You need both, right? You don't want just like, I wouldn't get just the super duper relevant. I wouldn't say you would hurt yourself with that, but I feel like you're kind of missing out on opportunity by having this broader stuff as well. There's just a lot more out there you can go after, and you don't need only the super duper specific stuff. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.